Manifestations. Man up. Manifestations. Man up. Manifestations.
A place where we inform, build, and inspire.
Manifestations. Man up. Manifestations. Man up. Manifestations. Man up.
A place where we inform.
Manifestations.
A place where we inform, build, and inspire.
You gotta eat what you kill. You gotta go out there, you gotta hunt for your meals.
We all have that ability to connect with people, to be that motivational person in somebody's life.
You gotta let people know there's certain lines you don't cross and that there's gonna be consequences if you do.
Man up.
If you are an adult and you are in a relationship, that person's emotions are not your responsibility.
Man up. Manifestations. Man up. Manifestations. Man up. Manifestations.
A place where we inform, build, and inspire.
The devil, during slavery, destroyed the masculinity or manhood of the so-called Negro. No man. No man. Right now you got to be trained all over again to be a man.
When someone is obligated to do something, it is binding upon them to do it. And failure to do it causes reaction.
Man up.
Position make you rich. I don't have that type of richness. My richness is life forever.
If that people knew their glorious past, if that people knew their glorious past, if that people knew their glorious past, then they would be more inclined to respect themselves.
I'm not saying I'm going to rule the world or I'm going to change the world, but I guarantee that I will spark the brain that will change the world. And that's our job, is to spark somebody else watching us.
A place where we inform, build, and inspire.
Manifestations. Man up. Manifestations. Man up. Manifestations. Man up.
A place where we inform.
Manifestations.
A place where we inform, build, and inspire.
You want to tell me about yourself? Go get your friends. I'll tell you who you are based on who your friends are.
Don't just live and die. That's an ugly existence. Make your life matter, make your life count. Live a life where people can actually mourn you for the things you left behind, not just because you were around and existed.
We need strong black nuclear family.
Yes.
That's what it is. Mother, father, son, daughter, all in the same house with a focus on the family unit as a whole.
We had Tulsa, Atlanta, New Jersey, Detroit. We had Rosewood. We had Black Wall Streets all over.
The Republicans aren't for us, but the Democrats aren't for us either. And we should have no alliance to any political party. We only have alliance to what is in our own best interest.
A place where we inform, build, and inspire.
Manifestations. Man up. Manifestations. Man up. Manifestations. Man up.
A place where we inform.
Manifestations.
A place where we inform, build, and inspire.
At the end of the day, as men in the community, we must stand together and be counted, because people look to us for guidance, leadership, and protection. And if we are not about that business, we are not on our job. Here we have grown-ass man conversations in the spirit of that purpose. Anthony Malcolm, Bobby Drake, Major Gage. We are. This is Manifestations 2020.
Manifestations. Man up. Manifestations.
A place where we inform, build, and inspire.
All right. Welcome to another week of Manifestations 2020. We are so excited tonight. We definitely have a great show for you guys tonight. I know we had the last couple of weeks, we were talking about the educational system for our children and trying to get our people's rights. So as you guys know, we're a community-based platform. We just don't talk about strictly relationships. where we deal with everything that is affiliated with the nucleus of the family. So we're trying to strengthen the community in all areas and aspects. So definitely, you know, people have been telling us this is one of the powerful and best platforms that they tune into every week. And we're definitely trying to give you guys as much valuable content, especially coming from places and people that normal other people or other areas not giving you this valid information and great content. So this week, we had to get back to the relationship topics and talks. And as you guys know, all y'all that follow, y'all seen the flyer this week. So we talked about on the flyer, it said exorbitant and overvaluation relationship standards. So I know a lot of y'all probably looked up what these words meant. So we'll go with the first one, which is exorbitant. So what this is basically, this word is basically saying is unreasonably high. So the exorbitant price of the tickets. So it's basically saying kind of like an influx, inflation, like what we're going through now. A lot of things are overly priced, way too high, way too overvalued, which lead us into the next one, which is overvaluation, which is the act of putting too high a value on something. All right. So basically, we wanted to break that down today and how that pretty much in today's relationship, in the whole dating pool, a lot of times we're applying things that kind of is stirring us away from being connected together. So I feel like a lot of people, men and women, are overvaluing themselves and overvaluing standards that they're placing before they even get into the relationship. And I think a lot of times that repels you away from a lot of great people in the process. Some people will sit back and say that you know, that's kind of like you telling people to lower the standards. No, we're not telling you to lower the standards, because like we say, there's always a base principle in everything you do. You live in a house, there's a base principle of a roof, the floor, the walls. That's the base principle. Now, think about it, right? Let's stick to it on the house topic, right? So you have the roof, the floors, and the walls. Those are very universal. There's no extravagantness into that. You're gonna have the same basic walls, roof, and floors. But when you go into the other aspects of it, you can go super dynamic with it. And sometimes people add on so much things to their house that they think that the value, when they put it on the market, that they're going to get a supersede of value for it. Let's say all the houses in the area are valued at $400,000. You do all of this work into your house, and you put in so much extravagant things, from marble tiles to extravagant doors. You could have see-through doors, big titanium doors, windows. You can have state-of-the-art windows, shutters. You can put on extra things on top of the roof, as far as solar panels and all this other stuff that you can add on. And then you think that now you added all that stuff, that you can put your house in a market value of $700,000, and all the houses around you are $400,000. Well, if you know anything about real estate, that kind of damages your process of selling that house in a timely manner, because now people are saying you're overpriced, you're overvaluing the house because you added in all these extra stuff. But the area around is what really matters. So whatever is around inside that whole territory, inside that community, that's what they're basing the property value off, not what you personally put inside that house. So a lot of times people, you know, depending on how fast you're trying to sell a house, a lot of times people lose a lot of money because they do all these add-ons and thinking that they're going to get it back in the value of when they sell the house. And that normally, a lot of times that don't happen. A lot of times the money you invested, you don't really get all of that back. So you have to understand and base price based on what is around you. And I think a lot of times, a lot of people aren't transferring that into the relationship aspect because we're placing so much added value onto us, and the market around us is not accepting that high value when they can go somewhere else and get something just as better or even better than you for less of the added price value that you put on yourself. Same thing with the real estate. I can go and get a house that is actually might be just like yours, a little bit better than yours, based on my personal preference for way less money. So definitely want to just break that down to you guys, and definitely want to pass it over to Major and Bobby, and we can just talk about, you know, what went on this weekend, what you guys doing through, and then we can get back into the topic at hand.
Okay. First of all, salute to you, brothers, for a wonderful show last week. I watched it. I enjoyed it. With the sister who owns the school. Beautiful. You know, anytime that type of discussion is taking place, it's a beautiful thing. I just love to see that. You know, homeschooling is important. And you know, the type of gems that she was dropping on there and the type of knowledge is it's just something that nobody's really talking about like that. And I think that we need to see a lot more of. So I'm very proud of this platform for, you know, bringing forth that type of knowledge. As far as my week, man, it's been pretty chill. Had a bit of a scare. You know, my mom, you know, she was going through some stuff. So she was in the hospital yesterday, but she's good now. You know what I'm saying? Everything is cool. Everything is blessed. I'm feeling good. You know, that kind of threw me off a little bit, but man, you know, shout out to Manversations 2020 platform. We are officially over 500 followers. You dig? All right. You understand? We out here kicking ass and taking names. You dig?
Exactly.
That's what I'm talking about. This is what it's about, man. The message is clear, it's pervasive, it's getting out there, and it's making a difference. So people are rocking with it.
Correct.
But as far as today's topic, just to make this real quick, you know, I know we're gonna get into it, but this, I believe, is an issue that's at the crux of a lot of the dating and relationship problems that we're having.
Correct.
This one bullshit ass issue is at the crux of all the issues we're having. It's two things, and these things go so well together. You know, exorbitance, you know, being that, okay, this shit is just priced way out there. You know, it just doesn't make any sense to the point where it's just not realistic. You know, I was watching some hood rat the other day talk on this video about how, you know, I made a video and I put it up on the page talking about how a guy has to be at least 6'5" and make at least $200,000 to talk to her basic average ass. Bruh. I mean, we got to stop lying to these females and telling them they fine so we can fuck them. Brothers, y'all got to stop doing that. You got to be real, be honest, be direct. You know, it's exorbitant even if it wasn't her, but because of the fact that it's her, really? Who's paying all that for you? See, this is why Kevin Samuels went viral, talking to that woman, telling her she was average at best. Because everybody was thinking it. You understand what I'm saying? And then, you know, you come into the fold with these grandiose ideas. Oh, I'm this. Oh, I'm that, which is the overvaluation, right? She's overestimating her own worth. And so when you overestimate your worth and you tell yourself all these things and other people have told you all these things and your head is so big you can barely walk through the goddamn door, you understand what I'm saying? Because people have been blowing smoke up your ass. If we just go fuck, you understand? You have these unrealistic bullshit ass expectations. What are we gonna do with that? You understand? Because at the end of the day, that ugly ass female, Kevin was being nice. What I would have told her would have been, listen, they would have came for me. But they wouldn't have been able to say I was lying because that is one ugly heifer. You dig? So, you know, we have to be more realistic is the bottom line figure. You know, those of us that are more average looking, that have more average careers, more average lifestyles, you know, if we ever intend on obtaining a significant other at all, if we keep it in a buck, especially women, because women are, black women especially, 1 in 4 black women is likely to ever marry in life.
Yeah.
Okay. So if we want to really find someone who is a quality person, we got to get our head out of our asses.
Yeah.
You dig? Because that's what's preventing a lot of y'all from catching. Your expectations are unrealistic, and the value that you place on yourself is way, I mean, astronomically above what it should be.
Correct.
You know, and so we got to tighten up on that as a collective. You know what I'm saying? There's some guys out there like that too, if we keep it in the buck. You know, so once we tighten up and get more down to earth, you know, with who we are and what we qualify for, let's keep it a buck, because we don't all qualify for the same things.
Exactly.
We'll be better off.
I'm glad you said that about guys, because there are some guys out there, y'all look like shit. And I'm no homo, no diddy, no diddy.
No diddy.
No diddy. No diddy. Y'all niggas look like shit. And y'all
take that.
Y'all require Queen Elizabeth, and y'all look like shit.
Mm-hmm.
The same way you want your woman to look good, we have talked about this plenty of times on Manversation. You need to up your standard as well. You can't be looking like you 9 months pregnant and out here asking for a banging ass woman. Because even if you have money, right? Because we always want to sit back and say, oh, I got money, so it shouldn't matter. No. Because what you're doing is you're neglecting yourself on the health side.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, when you have marriage, it's also about wealth and health. So you want your wife, if she loves you, regardless of how you look, your wife loves you. You know, she wants to see you stay and ride out with her as long as you can.
Yeah.
She doesn't want your lifespan to shorten because you're not taking the right steps into going into the healthy way. So yeah, you might have money and you may get a lot of women for it, but that one woman is telling you, hey man, look, I need you to tighten up as well, because I want you here with me in the long run. So fellas, y'all got to get y'all stuff together. There was a dude the other day that was on the Kendra G show, and good looking dude in the face, but he had a side tooth missing. Like, you can't sit back and say that you make money and you have a side tooth missing. Dude, like, put in the appearance. One thing I can say about women, whether they use care credit or not, they'll get their mouth fixed. They get, they get the stuff done that they need to work on. And I think men, you have to get in that same aspect as well, to do what you got to do to get yourself right. You know what I'm saying?
We gotta do a show on that, bro. Real talk.
Yeah, we definitely do. Definitely do. But I definitely want to pass it over to Bobby. I don't want to have, because I'll go in on it too.
Yeah. Bobby, what you got?
What you got for us, Bobby?
You all did a pretty solid job of getting the meat off the bones. All I have to say, just in connection with what you all saying, is like you mentioned in the beginning, we're not telling people to not have standards, men or women. That's absolutely not what's being said. And if that's what you got from what was being said, I strongly suggest you find the nearest pressure cleaner and hose all that earwax and gunk out your ear canals. It's not what's being said.
Right.
We're talking about overdoing it. You have an imbalance on one side when it comes to your standards. Now, we understand this seemingly in every other aspect of our lives. Some of us don't, to be honest with you. If you have a certain budget, if you are only able to spend $50 and you need to go out and do some clothing shopping, all you got is $50 to your name. It will be in your best interest to go. I wouldn't even say to Ross or TJ Maxx, because you might find a few things there, but 2 or 3 or 4 items probably going to go over your budget. You want to go someplace like Salvation Army, Goodwill, the thrift store, someplace where you can get some clothing or some items for not a lot of money. In some cases, you can even hit a lick if you go there. $50, that's not exactly shopping money unless you're going on the thrift side of the game. You would look like a full-blown dumbass, not even an idiot, because I'm not going to varnish it today. You look like a full-blown dumbass walking into Hermes, walking into Balenciaga, walking into the Louis Vuitton store, walking into what's some of the fashion places?
MCM.
MCM. What's my brother Virgil? Walking in the Virgil Abloh outlet or whatever.
Movado.
Going to these other places, right? These high-end places, which are $50. I don't even think $50 is enough to afford the little take-home shopping bags that they got there.
Real talk.
They go look at you.
Real talk.
They go look at you like your grandparents who decide OnlyFans ashamed of you and say, "Boo boo, go do better," because you have no place right now with this budget.
Real talk.
But that's okay. We're not saying this to shit on those places because you can get some quality items from a TJ Maxx. You can get some great finds from a thrift store.
Yeah.
When I be driving by on Sunday mornings, when I be out to do my errands and whatnot, or heading to the gym, I be driving by Salvation Army or by Goodwill, and you'd be surprised at how many Cadillacs, how many Lexus, how many Benzes, how many luxury cars are parked outside there.
All day.
Because you can get some links. I've seen people, there's a story not that long ago about some woman who got this really bomb jacket for like the low, like it's like a 4-figure jacket.
Yeah.
Mink and everything. Got it from the place. However, some put out a request saying if someone's seen this jacket, please return it to me. It has great sentimental value. And so they ended up, they didn't want to, but they went going with their conscience and went ahead and returned it. They got some money back for it. Wasn't dealing with the jacket cost. But you can hit some licks in those places.
Yeah.
The world does not owe you no Coach, no Fendi, no Prada, just because you're a nice person or because in your mind you're entitled, you deserve it, and all you got is a little $50.
Correct.
Now, you have two choices, and I keep hammering this because I'm hoping it sticks into somebody's head. When it comes to your preferences, you got 3 choices, and you only have 3 choices.
Yeah.
If you're not getting what you want at the game, you can either A, find out what your type is looking for and put in the work, time, effort, whatever to get to that point where you can hit those items. You can B, find out who the people are who are checking for you and learn how to like them. Like the old song says, if you can't be the one that you love the one that you're with. So you can't be the one you love. Learn how to love the ones that's rocking with you already. Or C, invest in a dog, a cat, a pet, or some plants and prepare to die alone.
It is.
That's all any of us have. That's all I've got. That's all Ant got. Maybe not the market, so that's not his bag anymore. But for all of us out here, that's all we got.
Yeah.
And the sooner that you accept either of these 3 items, whatever those might be, the sooner you learn to accept those, the better quality life that you can have. It's the people who are trying to buck against the system, they're trying to fight and overturn and upset the national order. Those are the people who are miserable because they're fighting a battle that they cannot win.
Real talk.
You can't beat the wall. You cannot beat, your arms are too short to box with God.
It
so
is.
The sooner you learn to accept whatever one of those 3 ones are, and all 3 of those options, you can actually have a quality life. Everyone isn't meant to be in a relationship. That's not for everybody.
Right.
It really isn't. You can find fulfillment as a single person, not dealing with anybody. You got your little purpose in life, whatever it is. You got your friends, your family, whatever, and you good. You can live a fulfilling life with that. You can have a great life, of course. Obviously, if you land the person that you always wanted, your white whale, your dream person, of course, you can have a great life with that. You can also have a wonderful life with someone who you might not have necessarily been attracted to, but because their love and dedication to you and their desire to do right by you, you have a quality relationship with that person. You can even grow into loving that person.
Right.
Yeah.
But when you fight the options, that's when you're going to have a rough go of it. And what we're trying to do, no matter how it might sound, is we're trying to save somebody, if it's just one person, somebody from making their life more miserable than it has to be because they refuse to play the game with the cards that they got.
Real talk.
I'm parking my ATV. I got to refuel for gas.
Well said. Well said. Yeah.
Definitely. So we're definitely going to go into tonight's show and get a little bit deeper with a lot of things that's going on. I know we want to get into our first topic for today, which is trending weekly topics. This should be a good one for us. So it's trendy weekly topics. And what I want to bring up off rip and get her out the way, because I'm kind of tired of the nagging that's going on with this young woman. But when does it stop? All right. So Lizzo says she's quitting music in a new statement. I'm constantly up against the lies being told about me for clout and views, being the butt of the jokes every single time because of how I look. All right. So we have talked about Lizzo before. Lizzo actually came out here, you know, she wanted to push this, you know, no matter what size you are, you could be super huge, plus size woman. It's all about embracing us, embracing yourself. And it's always this narrative that goes against, like, hey, you know, it's cool to be you, but let's be real. Deep down inside, you really don't want to be that size. Because we saw Monique was doing the same thing. The comedian Monique did the same thing, where she was pushing this, like, hey, you know, I'm a fat girl and I love this and that. And then next thing you know, she starts slimming down. She started doing everything. And it might be due to health conscious, right? It might be due to health situations. But at the end of the day, she still had to lose weight. And she caught a lot of flack from the women that she was telling to be big and embrace the bigness. And then she went right around and started losing weight. And the women was going crazy on her because they were like, you're being contradicted. You know what I'm saying? And now you're seeing the same thing with Lizzo, who went around and was pushing this, you know, we got to embrace our weight. And this is, you know, I am woman, hear me roar. Everybody's going to be supportive of it. And it was not the case. You know, for over a long period of time, she was getting pushback from it, but she was trying to block out the noise. But now it's too much. It's but so much resistance you can have for something it's just been around for so long, where people are more about weight conscious. We have always been weight conscious, you know, and now it's crushing her, because now she was pushing back for so long and the force is just too much that it's imploding on her. And she's like, yo, I'm giving up. I'm quitting. I don't want to do music no more. I'm out of here. So what are you guys' thoughts on that? Because when I saw it, I was just like, I knew it was just a matter of time. And I'll let my play down.
You know what my first idea was? I'm going to just keep it a buck. Push. Pray until something happens. That was my first response. That was my first response. Prayer changes things. I was so happy I could shit when Lizzo came out and said that shit, bro. Like, real talk. Nobody want to hear your fat ass whining about nothing and not putting out no damn music.
Yeah, that's where I am. Don't threaten with a good time, huh? Don't threaten with a good time, huh?
Don't threaten. Dude, don't threaten me with a good time. What, bruh? You quitting for reals? Listen, I would just go on record. My opinion is obviously biased. Lizzo is one of my most detested people on earth. I cannot stand the sight of Lizzo, because I know that every time you see Lizzo, fuckery will ensue. I know this. You can bet your paycheck on it. She is always doing something goofy and stupid for no apparent reason. She's an attention whore. And what's fucked up, let me give it a buck with you. My mother brought this to my attention. Like, she brings many things to my attention. My mother's very wise. What's messed up about that is that Lizzo is actually very talented.
Yeah.
I'm going to say that again, because the thing is, her antics take up the news cycle so much that you don't actually get to appreciate this woman's talent. She can play the hell out of that flute. Correct. She can sing. You know, she's a musician. You know, she puts together some good music. I listened to her last album really only strictly because of my mother, because, again, I cannot stand this woman. But like, when you know, as men, we're able to compartmentalize. Okay, I can't stand her, but let me hear how the music sounds. The music was solid. And I'm like, yo, my mother actually was the first one that made that point. It's a shame that she's always acting like such a damn buffoon because you can't appreciate what she's really supposed to be focusing on and what she brings to the table, which is her talent. You understand? But again, it's another one of these people, who's overvaluing themselves. Oh, I'm this, I'm that, I'm that, I'm this. Everybody else can see that, you don't really look the part of someone who should be trying to show off your body like that. But in your head, and because of these buffoons around you that then blew up your head, oh, I'm this, I'm that. You understand what I'm saying? Like, there's something called weight appropriate attire. You dig?
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say it, and that's not just for women, that's for everybody. Because I'm gonna put it out there if nobody else don't say it. It's not cool to be overweight. Period. Now, if you want to say that you can still love yourself and still feel good about yourself, I'm cool with that. But it's unhealthy and it's unwise because at the end of the day, how many people, I know plenty, that are overweight and never really thought to do anything about it. And later on in life, they have all types of health complications. They're living a very uncomfortable quality of life or whatever the case may be because of complications from their weight, either earlier in life or in the present day. Not cool. Not something any of us should want to put ourselves in the type of position to have to deal with, right?
Yeah.
Common sense.
Correct.
Anybody but a buffoon like Lizzo that wants to go out there and promote this shit like it's something we should all be doing.
Correct.
No. You dig? So I have a serious problem with her and her ilk, of other people who promote things that we should not be promoting. If you're overweight, I'm not talking down on you. I love everybody. You understand what I'm saying? But you should be trying to do something to get to a healthy weight. You understand what I'm saying? Not wallowing in the fact, I'm overweight and, that's a cool thing to be. That's bullshit.
Yeah.
You feel me? So yeah, that's whack as hell. And yeah, I'm glad she's quitting because that's a bad look for the community. The type of her antics are a bad look for the community. She's a coon at the end of the day. You don't remember seeing her at the Lakers game with the pants with the cutout ass. Yeah, exactly.
Let's not bring that up.
You ate recently, Bobby? Did you eat recently? Yeah, I know. I'm sorry about that, brother. But
I want the burger to stay down. I don't want it to come out that way.
Oh,
I don't want to come out the way it came in.
That shit was offending my eyes, bro. Nobody want to see your big flat ass shaking in the middle of the crowd. Like, she's one of those people that just act a buffoon for absolutely no reason. You understand? Yeah. And of course, she's blaming everybody else. She's the butt of the joke. Why do you think you're the butt of a joke? Because you made yourself the butt of the joke.
Correct.
Oh, I can't stand that woman. But yeah, I'll land my plane. I'll fall back. What you got, Bobby? What's going on, Mr. Ted P? What you got, Bobby? What's up, man? Talk to me.
Right out the barrel. I don't believe her. We need more people. I need to see proof. I need to see a signed declaration. It's another attention.
You might be right.
That she's on. And she better shut her stupid mouth because that's going to come back on her probably sooner than she thinks. And I'm going to get to why in a second. First and foremost, the irony is Lizzo's out here talking about she's retiring from music. And the funny thing is, I swore she did that from jump because the only time she seems to be in the headlines is for making an ass out of herself.
There you go.
Yeah.
I don't know when her last album was released. I don't know when her next single is dropping. To be honest, outside of what's that song, Truth Hurts or something like that, or whatever that song is, I have actually not heard any Lizzo's songs. I have not heard her music. I heard that one just because it's popped up in some videos or whatever. Didn't really. I heard some of the lyrics. It's like it sounded like typical bird babble. I wasn't interested in it. But people keep saying that she's talented and she's a musician. I know she plays the flute. But even that, when I hear, okay, well, no, does she have any concert for playing the flute? And this is a big thing about her playing the flute and twerking at the same time. Everywhere you go, it's a goddamn spectacle.
It's a minstrel show. Yeah.
It's amazing because for all the talent she's supposed, people keep telling me she's talented. She has this talent. She's talented. She can sing. She's an instrumentalist. She's talented. I don't see the talent because she can't stop trying to supplement it with buffoonery. Or maybe I should say she does buffoonery and she supplements it with musical talent. I don't know.
Right.
But
no,
she
you're right,
definitely
because
has a case of putting the cart before the horse and everything else.
Yeah.
And I'm sick of it. I have no interest in digging deeper into finding out the merits of this person. No. My attention span is valuable. All right. Attention is a currency. It literally is. I am not about to spend my attention span and my currency trying to go ahead and give someone props for something that I ain't seen. I have nothing to base the investment on. I'm not going to do it. There's a lot of things I can waste my attention on that I'll get more satisfaction out of. Lizzo, forget the end of the line. She doesn't even come into the consideration of it. So if she's quitting, fantastic. I'm always laughing when these attention whores like to make it out as if they can't make fools out themselves or what have you, then it's gonna be the end of the world. If that's how you feel, then let the world end. It's the apocalypse.
Real talk. Real
Peace
talk.
out.
Drink bleach. Real talk.
You're right. You're right, because she is talented. I will give her that. She is talented. You know, but like you say, she'll play I remember her playing the flute on stage, and I guess squeezing her a saxophone in her ass cheeks. So it's like you can't.
Nigga, what?
Yeah, you can't sit back and listen to the flute. You know, because really, when it comes to live instruments, you want to hear the variations of the tones and the pitches and, you know, the elevations in it.
Yeah.
And you're trying to listen to that, but people are laughing because you're doing it with a saxophone stuck in your ass while you're doing it. So it's little antics like that, like you say, takes away from the talent, because it's just the buffoonery, the minstrel show, the sellouts. And it's more so of her really wanting the attention more than the credibility.
That's
so
exactly
she wants
what
more of the attention from the buffoonery than the credibility of her craft that God has blessed her with. So that's what I
real quick. And I'm gonna tell you something right now, because I myself am a musician. I haven't touched it in a while. I've actually been toying with the idea of getting back into it. I just got to find the time to carve out to get back into it now, because I have everything just perfectly arranged in my life so far. So I got to find the space to really do that and dedicate to it. But I'm a musician myself. I spent probably almost 15 years of my life playing the saxophone. I played I primarily played the alto saxophone, played the baritone saxophone, the soprano saxophone, dabbled with the oboe a little bit. So I play instruments. I play music. I love music. Music is a deep passion of mine. I cannot understand how anyone who calls and considers himself a musician, especially someone who actually plays instruments, you understand instrumentation, arrangement, composition, all that stuff. I can't understand how you can actually do that, have that skill, have that talent, that appreciation for music, and turn around and cheapen it with that bullshit.
Yeah.
I would be offended if someone were to come up to me and say, hey, man, hey, you really got a saxophone, man, and we'll pay you $800 for this gig tonight, just 2 hours, that's all. For real? What am I playing? All right, well, we got some music for you. Can read music. Yeah, I can read music. Okay. Play this, but we want you to play it in a thong with a bow tie on. And we're going to have some male strippers at this party, a whole bunch of these gorgeous women, and we just want you to walk around. Before I even finish, hear that, I'm out. Yeah. You're not going to insult me, and you're damn sure not going to insult my craft with your nonsense.
Yeah.
That's fair.
So for her to go ahead and be willing to degrade herself and her art form like that, it's crazy. Look, and if you think it doesn't matter, look at the buzz, and of course, part of that was for the name that he had outside of it. But look at the big buzz that Andre 3000 created behind that last album he dropped, where the project was supposedly where he was just going to be doing nothing but flute music or whatever. You got a whole bunch of people who probably would never even listen to a classical instrument like the flute.
Right.
And to be honest, it was a little bit new age. It was a bit more on the electrical side of the game. But how many people went and listened to that album simply out of respect for the artist and walked away with an appreciation for the flute and the idea of what a flute can sound like or what it can do? Now look at Lizzo ass.
Yeah. How about that?
You ain't no musician.
Nah, she ain't.
And I'll say this, you ain't a musician. You are a minstrel show.
Real talk. She's a product. Straight up.
Yeah. So I wish her the best. Whatever she felt like she needs to do to help her mental capacity on the pressures of going against for so long. And then now it has been a lot on her. Take the time off. Maybe it's a good thing. Take the time off. Maybe you might want to see different aspects, rebuild yourself, and insert yourself back into society. I mean, people have done it for what's her name, Molly Cyrus. They allow Molly Cyrus to go off the grid and then come back and make a lucrative career out of that. So she had to drop all the antics out of the way, which most of the antics was hanging around black people acting ratchet, and then came back and reassert herself back onto the good girl scene. So, maybe that's the route that she might take. But
nah,
hey, we wish
it ain't gonna work.
I hope she gets her mind right, drops the foolishness, and comes back. Because if she comes back with some serious stuff, I'll be the first one in line to listen to her work and to celebrate her as an artist. I'll be the first one to do that.
Agreed.
But if the jackassery is part of the package, then it's no deal.
And definitely. I just want to, real quick before you move on to the next topic, I just want to add why that's not going to work for her. Miley Cyrus, she kind of looks the part. Lizzo does not. Yeah. Miley Cyrus is white. Yeah. They will allow her to sanitize her image and come back out and rebrand herself. Actually, white society probably put her up to it because they don't like white women running around here looking and behaving like, gutter trash. They don't like that. You understand what I'm saying? So notice Miley Cyrus and, some of these other white girls that were kind of, edgy and whatever. They're all prim and proper now. Even Kim Kardashian and went and got a goddamn degree. You understand what I'm saying? She's into philanthropy now, and she's a lawyer.
They'll use that to get out there. They'll use that to get out there and make a name, get they stacks or whatever.
Right.
But when it's just like, and the male artists do it too. Kid Rock.
Yeah.
Well, Kid Rock was arguably neck and neck with Eminem for the most down wigger. Right?
Yeah.
Now he came back and now he's all ultra magged out. He's all hardcore on the right, conservative, white supremacist.
He's a fire-breathing Nazi. Yeah, he's a Nazi.
Now just straight up country now. All that nah, gone now. So when they do that.
You can do that shit.
They use the niggas for the come up. And when it's time to get serious, okay. Now it's time to grow up. Now it's time to put the business suit on. Time to put on the dress for success skirt and everything. Now it's time to be serious. Now we're adults now.
There you go. I'm just saying. All right.
Definitely. Right. All right. So the next person come on down to the block. We've seen this recently want to talk about the pedo, right? So Jalen Green's 40-year-old baby mom doesn't want a future with him.
Right.
Did we see this coming or did we not see this coming?
Bruh.
Say it ain't so.
Bruh.
What?
Who didn't see that coming? Shit.
Yeah.
Who didn't? Stevie Wonder saw that shit coming.
Exactly.
In HD.
In HD.
In IMAX. Shit.
What she want to have a life with him for? She got that check.
Yeah.
You go and you find she an old hoe. You dig? And this is what old hoes do. You know, they'll go and find somebody that's young and dumb, get knocked up by him, and be set for the rest of their life. That loving basketball or loving hip hop money, whichever one of them shit she's on, that money ain't no real money. And it's gonna dry up soon because she's getting old. You dig? So you ain't no hip hop harlot no more. You kind of, you still look all right, but you kind of on your way out the door. You know, you starting to get a little cobwebs in between them titties a little bit. You dig? So it's not quite the same. It don't hit the same no more. You feel me?
Yeah.
She knows where she is and who she is. She knows she ain't shit. Let's keep it above. All these, exalted hood rats. Let it be her, let it be Bernice Burgos, let it be, what's the other one, Evelyn Lozada. They know they ain't shit. So when they start getting a little long in the tooth, they'll either do something like this, or, there was another one not too long ago, came out and said that, somebody touched her inappropriately. Amanda Seales tried that shit with that doctor, you remember?
Yeah, Myron Rowe.
Player, and she said something, slick about him, that some people that she knew had said that, he was this and he was that, and he made all kind of inappropriate sexual comments. She did that shit because she knows she about to hit the wall. You know what I'm saying? I think she found out a little late. She hit the wall 5 years prior, as far as I'm concerned. But that's a whole other conversation. But they do this little slick shit. Either they go and find somebody young and then get knocked up, or they make up a story, to try to extort some money out of somebody because they know they ain't shit and they about to hit the wall.
Yeah.
It's up to the brothers out here, man. Y'all OGs failed this dude a little bit. You got to put it on him too, because he's still a grown man, even though he's very young. But y'all OGs should have put him up on game.
Yeah.
We should be embracing these young brothers when we see them come in, try to take them under our wing and give them some game. I've put young brothers onto this type of shit, and I'm not no celebrity, but if I see a young brother out there and he's going astray and, he's looking a little Google-eyed at some chicken head, I'm going to let him know what it is. You feel me? Because, and this is particularly hurtful to me because that young brother is wasting his fortune on this hood rat when he could have, gotten a quality woman, started a black family, and started building a real legacy. You understand what I'm saying? That's what bothers me. This is the type of shit that poisons the well as far as dating and relationships is concerned. This poisons that well, because other people look at this and they get influenced by it. Other young, low energy hood rats look at what she did like, damn, if she could do it, I could do it.
Yeah.
At a high level or at a low level. Like, everyday chick can do the same thing.
Correct.
Find a dude that got him a little post office job, have a baby, and you can chill.
Correct.
Because let's just keep it a buck. A lot of these women out here, they look at child support as income.
Yes.
You got some women out here that are professional baby havers. Let's keep it a buck. All right? So you can save all the strong and independent bullshit for the next women's lib rally. This is real life, and this is what these females are doing out here. And it's hurting the brothers because now you got all this baggage. You got, and she's one of them messy chicks who be all out in the media, babbling and talking and, trying to draw attention to herself. You can't move. You can't do nothing because you don't know what this knucklehead is going to do to tarnish your name now, on top of the fact that she got you for 18 years. Shout out Kanye West. He went and did the same stupid shit. Bruh. 18 years.
18 years.
Bruh, talk to me, man.
It's sad. It's a sad situation. I don't know. I have no clue. I see a lot of women talking about if that was their son, that they would constantly have their foot in that woman's Andrea's butt. I do see that, but I didn't see as much pushback for it though. Women wasn't really pushing back because, like you say, I think a lot of them deep down inside want to have that same outcome as well. Because
Yes.
a lot of women, and there's a lot of men out there too, what they fail to realize is when you're out here goofing around and you're out here not taking advantage of your prime years and you're not building the lifestyle that you need to build for the future and for your children, when you get to a certain age, you're now desperate, you're scrambling. And women have more of an advantage than men because women can grab somebody who is naive and young and entrap them into something like that and get a big bag out of it. Men don't have that same, it's a double standard. Men don't have that same output in that way, you know. So, but you do have men out here that don't establish themselves, and because they haven't established themselves, now they're depending on their children to basically establish the lifestyle that they should establish for themselves. And sometimes you have these men that are so grown that end up being homosexuals because they haven't put in that type of effort and energy into building what did they need to build. So their lifestyle in the latter years is now on a desperate level. And now you see a lot of older guys, especially some guys that look decent, you know, well put together guys that are with women that you like, yo, I know you could do better than her, but because they put themselves in such a bad position and didn't do good when they had the opportunity to do so, now they just settle for whoever can just shelter them in, you know, and you get that just like the guy, the little dude, I think it was Locked Up, that reality show about being locked up, and he got out. A little short guy, but he was with this big 600-pound black girl, and they were riding around, and they got real viral and famous. But even he was out there trying to play the field with women while being with her because she wasn't his top quality woman, but she took care of him when he got out. He didn't have nothing. He was flat on his face. So he had to get with a woman that was going to nurture him and shower him and do all that other stuff. And a woman of quality is not going to do that. So now because you didn't establish yourself and you did some reckless stuff that put you in a hole, now you have to get with the woman that say, hey, I don't mind you, but she might not be your type. And a lot of guys get caught up in those type of situations. So it's very important. Like if you're a young guy that's watching this, it's very important for you to strive hard at a young age and get what you need to do, solidify yourself. And then that way in your latter years, everything will pan out for you. And one of the things is, you know, I always tell young guys, hey, you know, you don't have to normally just go into marriage off rip. You know, go out there, sow your roll oats, but do it in a safe way. You know, strap up, have protection. Let the women know, hey, I ain't trying to be in no relationship. If that's cool with you, we can vibe out and rock out. There's some women out there that vibe like that. So be honest with them. Go out there, have your fun, do it safe, live your life. Then when you get to your latter years, you want to settle down and you want to look for a wife, then you can do that. You know what I'm saying? And then you have some guys that don't want to go out there and experience the world for themselves, and they want a wife off rip. And we've seen that. Guys that settle down young, get all their stuff together, build their family, and live a happy life. So it's all about whatever option or path you want to take, but just do it in a way that you're honest and safe. And that way you're not creating kids out of wedlock. And that way you're not out here running and telling people that your baby moms won't let you see your child. And I'm so sick of that narrative. We're definitely going to get my homeboy to come on here to talk about that because he has 8 children and have custody of all 8 of them. So we need to let these men know, like, fellas, all that stuff about she's stopping you from seeing your child, there's ways around it. It might be harder than normal, but you got to put in that fight and effort if you really want to be in that child's life. If you don't want to be in that predicament or that situation, then do it the right way. Vet the girl thoroughly. Get with a girl that is on the same level as you. Build with her together, and you guys create a child after y'all get married and y'all live out happily ever after. That's the way to do it. Do it that way. Stop being reckless out here. Stop making excuses. Let's tighten up our community and let's stop doing the generational curses that's really out here destroying the community in the long run. And I'll land my plane on that.
Yes, sir. Well said.
Oh, you went off. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Bobby, stop.
You got something, Bob?
We are going to call this what it is. This is straight up predatory behavior.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear anyone say that, well, they're both consenting adults. He knew what he was getting himself into. He's not a minor. I don't want to hear none of that, because they went ahead and slapped whole entire criminal charges on Buddy that was so-called romance scamming these grown-ass women, going on dates with them, all this shebangs, and was taking them for a whole entire ride, and was successful at doing the same thing that women do to men, basically being a whole entire foodie call, and then up and dipping on them, and that was the end of it. And they talk about all the emotional trauma and damage that he caused them, and these are women that were even older than Buddy is. So I don't want to hear about none of this, because people like to pick and choose what they call predatory, what's moral and immoral, based on things that are unequal. If the standard was across the same, this would be viewed the same exact way, but it's not, because it's a man. But they want to come at you now when it's an older, like I said before, when it's an older man in the situation and it's a younger woman, they want to come at him and talk about how creepy it is. They call Leonardo DiCaprio everything but a child of God because he refused to date women that are over the age of 25. And they even said he got him on a time clock. As soon as they hit 25, he breaks up, finds something who's young again.
Mm-hmm.
And mind you, these women that he's just dating, he's not impregnating them and knocking them up, saddling them with children. He's not doing that to them. They're younger women dating an older man who has considerable resources, who is taking them to see the world. They're going to places and doing things they probably would never get to do for years and years and years otherwise. And it's just a relationship that they're in. But he's a bad guy. They call themselves coming after Marquez Houston with no proof. Now, I'll be the first to admit it looks a little interesting, but there's nothing concrete to suggest that he prayed or he was stalking his wife or any of that nonsense. But just because there's an age discrepancy and she got married early, they want to say he's a predator. He's a predator. Anytime it's a younger woman and an older man, they want to find some way to make it out into the devil's work. But in this case, it's an old bird who's been aged out the game and refused to accept her severance papers. Now she's coming out to young bucks trying to go ahead and get that 18-year plan. And now it's, I don't see the problem is. There's nothing wrong with that. You demand your bitch that pays you. Now, I will be fair and say that at least in my encounters with people so far, I've seen most people, surprisingly, a lot of women on the right side of this, much more than usual. It's actually a little concerning. I don't want to get too carried away before we take a horrible swing on the opposite side of the spectrum, but I give credit where it's due, good and bad alike. And I must say that so far in my travels, the women have been on the right side of this by and large, even taking some other women to task who were not on the right side of things. So I must tip my hat and give my round of applause to those sisters. Hopefully this is not a one-off. We need this to continue to be a thing. We need the sisters who are solid to call this out, to be vocal about this. Because we can't allow these bird brains to have an echo chamber where they're allowed to control the debate, control the conversation, and the perception of this. No, it needs to be an equal push, men pushing back, women pushing back, in harmony, in sync. That's what we need to see out here. The other thing I want to say about this is we really need to do a better job. And I know it's not, everyone doesn't necessarily have that ability to do so, but we really need to sit down with these younger brothers, our nephews, our grandsons, our sons, our younger brothers. Hell, even if they're not related to us, if we got some youngins in the neighborhood or what have you, if we have, if you're a teacher, and you got some young male students, or you're a counselor, what have you, if you are in any sort of environment where there are young men around you, and you can be an influence to them, you can speak to them. We need to really start seriously gaming up these brothers on how this works. What this is, what you're seeing is a lot of, and I got to give shout outs to I believe it was Cameron on the It Is What It Is podcast. I believe he was the one I saw say this. But it's when these brothers blow up, they get these big contracts, they become multimillionaires overnight. They become household names. ESPN, the news cycle, everyone's talking about them. They literally come from nothing to something overnight. They start, especially if they're coming from underprivileged areas, their mindset, because they're not used to wealth, they're not used to access, they're not used to that exposure. It really is a gift, and it's a huge curse, to be honest with you. A lot of them, the mindset is, I have to do all the things that I couldn't do before. That's the mindset for at least a good 90% of them. I have to do all of the things that I thought were impossible, that were a dream for me. So, and Cam talked about it. He said when he was younger, when he got his deal, when he started making money, he's like, I had to go out and get a pink Range Rover. I had to go out and get a pink. I had to go out and get all these jewelry, whatever, because I had to get that out of my system. And he confessed himself, he happened to do that early, but get that out of his system before that ended up being something that, put him in a bad spot. But it's been almost a decade later since that ESPN 30 for 30 documentary dropped, that broke documentary. Almost a decade later. And we still got brothers doing all the same stupid, goofy things that got all the players covered in that documentary in the poorhouse now.
That's real.
And now, unfortunately, knocking up these old head broads who've been on the block 19 times, who know who through trial and error, they know all the right things to say. All their BS ain't gonna work with their peers because they've been there, done that. All the dudes in their age bracket know what's up.
Right.
They can't do that. But for these youngins that never thought they'd even be in this position, all their old lines, their old little tricks, their little BS feminine wiles, whatever, that won't work with the old heads, works like nothing on them.
Yeah.
All right. And they just racking them up. And the crazy part is, even the young girls now, they're not going to be able to compete against that. The young ones might have the youth on their side. They might have the bodies that are in better shape. But these old heads have that experience, and they're working that experience. They're using that sexual sorcery, as Jason Black called it. That sexual sorcery on these youngins. They'll know when they're coming and going, or what the case may be.
Correct.
We need to have the old heads talking to these youngins and let them know, hey, man, there's a lot of dangers out here. And these women are chief among them. Put them up on the game. Let them know what they're doing. They're trying to saddle you with an 18-year debt, an 18-year emotional and financial debt that you can't shake. And they're going to use that to wring every last cent they got out of you. They're going to make your life hell. They're going to do everything they can to go ahead and put your nuts in a vice. All right, so we got to really talk about these young heads and getting their minds right on this subject, man. It's not about how many broads you knocking down. That doesn't make you a man. What solidifies you as a man outside of the way God puts you here on this earth is it's what you're able to produce, your success, and your ability to excel. Driving, seeking more, that's what goes ahead and puts notches on your belt. Not how many boppers you done slayed or put down.
Whoa, now. Whoa.
And that's 100% correct. And a lot of times people don't understand that even the women, you guys have to be conscious about that, because when you're dealing with a younger man, even if you're getting money out of it, it sends a bad signal and a bad taste to society in general. And not only that, to your family tree. Because I'm going to tell you exactly what was something an older woman did that ended up being so detrimental. But a good thing that her son was such a megastar, it never affected him. But it did in a way. But you remember when LeBron James' mom was out here fucking Delonte West? his teammate. So remember, his mom was out there banging Delonte West on the same team as your son.
Trash.
Can you imagine the jokes that go in the locker room? Can you imagine the jokes that go towards LeBron? Can you now have a man that is a leadership of a team who now his teammates don't even take him serious because he's a butt of the jokes? And if he ever says something to him and they take it the wrong way, they'll bring his mom up. And that right there will cause people to get into some fights when they bring your moms up. So in itself, you are putting your son and your family tree in harm's way by doing these degenerate things and situations that you feel like are very selfish on your part, feels like it doesn't do no damage, but on the opposite end, it does a lot of damage. There's a lot of damage done to that. And this young man, unfortunately, is not going to be able to play in a longevity like a LeBron James. He's not going to play for 18 years. So now he's going to have to go back to court over the years when his money is starting to run down, and then he's going to start to have to readjust his payments. And remember, the last guy that had to go out there to try to readjust his payments said F it and killed the baby moms, which is Ray Caruth. So you gotta take these things in consideration. You gotta understand that, you know, everybody takes different things certain ways. It's very dangerous. It might be beneficial to you, but there's always a con side to it. Some of it might be frustration and some of it might be fatal. You don't know the type of person you're dealing with. He's a young kid with a young mind. He's not mature. He can go off his wits and go all the way left with it, you know? So just want you guys to know, and you kids out there, it's very important for you guys to understand this. And I'm glad that Bobby Drake had talked about, you know, we need more mentors and people around our young fellas to guide them and coach them. Because I seen this the other day, and we're sticking to a young basketball player. It's not even in the NBA yet. Check this out. So we got the Duke guard, Gerard McCain, has signed an NIL deal with beauty and nail polish brand Sally Hansen. So now you're going to start seeing that the dominant society has now found a way to give people money, and I can emasculate them in the same time. Now think about it, right? You guys got to understand. Think about this, because a lot of people be like, oh, it's nail polish, she's getting money. Okay, it's nail polish today. What if we see them in a swimsuit category or modeling women's panties? You see what I'm saying? We got to understand how this type of, you know, this is it's treading into real territorial waters. It's dangerous waters we're treading in, because remember, you're getting paid for it. And you're doing it with children that coming from a lifestyle where they didn't see this type of money, you know. And I've told people before, you know, social media has always been a social engineering to people, especially those who have weak minds or people who have been suffering from financial apartheid, because you'll see memes that say, would you slap your grandma for $1 million? And the amount of results that you see the people commenting about and the stuff they talking about their own grandma, some of them is say, I'll slap her in her mouth and knock her down for a damn 2-piece biscuit at Popeyes. You know, it's just so much things that people would do for money or for trinkets, you know, even if it's harm towards other individuals. This is how Sambos and sellouts are always in the main arena, because there's always somebody from the dominant society that will fund that and make sure that you lose your morals while projecting something else into the world for their particular agenda. And I'll land my plane on that.
Well said, brother. What you got, Bob? You go first?
Yeah. So there's a video that went along. I don't know if it was. Well, no, there was a video that went along with it that I saw. The other day we were chopping up with some folks, And apparently this whole thing behind is they reached out to him because apparently that's been his thing. He's always painting his nails, whatever you. He actually refers to it as his type of self-care. He said, I think one day, he said he started doing it originally because he had an issue with biting his nails, whatever, and he did that to kind of get him to stop doing it. And then he did it before a game one time, and I guess he went off. He had a really well-performing game, and so that's his good luck charm now as well. I heard a whole bunch of splaining. I heard what he was saying. I'm like, oh, okay. All right, cool.
Okay.
I know it's best because I used to have that issue as well too. I still bite my nails, but now at this point it's by choice. I mainly do it because I find it's too easy to get stuff underneath it. It's a pain to clean it. So especially if I'm doing things where I need to be hands, it's just easier for me to just, take them off, whatever. It's nothing for me at this point to stop for like 3 weeks or a month if I want to and go ahead and just leave it alone. But when I was young, I had an issue where I legitimately could not stop doing it. Mm-hmm. And so what I did was I didn't go and pull up no Duke Blue and no white paint to put on my nails. I went to the store, the dollar store, and they have nail varnish specifically with that purpose to get people to stop biting your nails. And it's a clear coat. It's not gloss or anything. It goes on pretty much dull or matte, whatever the term is.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't wash off easily. And when you taste it, when you put your nail in your mouth, when you taste that, it tastes nasty as hell. It tastes bitter. It makes you want to go ahead and get some juice or something to wash the taste out your mouth. I know some variations where it's spicy. If you do it, it literally will burn like your lips if you do it, whatever. I did that a few times, and that was enough to get me to leave my hand alone because every time I went for my fingers, I had PTSD. I'm like, okay, I'm cool. And it worked. Mm-hmm. I didn't go painting my nails with the stuff, talk about this to get me to stop biting my nails. I didn't say that this is my self-care now where I paint my nails with this, whatever. This was a matter of necessity. I'm trying to stop something else from going on. So I'm not sold on the whole idea of, well, I'm doing this to get me to stop biting my nails. I'm not sold on that. I'm sorry. You're just not going to get me to buy that. Because I've been there. I know what that's like. And there's other roads. You went down the road because that's what you wanted to do. Just keep it a buck.
There it is.
I was also watching the video and I'm listening to him explain. It wasn't like an interview. Like it was like I think it's like a TikTok video or whatever, where he was, I guess, going live about the deal and explaining his history with it or whatever. And while he was doing the video, he was actually painting his nails a fresh coat or whatever. And I'm observant. So I'm listening to him, I'm watching him and everything. I peep game. And I'm not saying this as a diss to him at all. But everything from his mannerisms, the brother came off very soft, very tender. All right. All right. I'm not saying it was fruity or anything, but I'm saying he came off very it's the term there's a term I'm trying to remember, like lathe or something like that. But it came off very, very pastel. Like that's the word I would probably
substitute.
For.
Wow. That was a new one for me.
But he came off, I can't remember the other word. That's the best word. Kind of very willowy almost. That's how he came off. The only thing I can say is if this was his deal, this is his bag or his thing that he does anyways, and he found someone's able to compensate him for it, more power to him. It's not like they went ahead and paid him to do it, whatever. This is something he's already doing.
Yeah.
Sally Hansen did the smart thing, like there's a dude painting his nails and he plays ball, he's good. Can we get some of that money? Yeah, okay. I ain't mad at him. But I'm not with the advertisement and the way that looks because, again, like we just talked about social media, there's a greater influence going on. They're doing that because they want him to be an influence. Yes, they're going to have to boost their numbers as well, too. But I find it funny because what's interesting is we're in the age of NIL, which was long overdue, and the men's college sports athletes are able to get it. The women's college sports athletes are able to get it. It's funny how I haven't heard about Sally or any of these other companies offering any of the ladies any NIL deals. I haven't heard about Sally Hansen reaching out to Flage. I haven't heard about Fenty reaching out to Angel Reese. I haven't heard about Maybelline or L'Oreal reaching out to Caitlin Clark or any of these other ladies that are out there balling their ass off and performing at a high level. Maybe they have. I don't know. But I'm saying it's interesting that I haven't heard about that. but I've heard about this partnership with Sally Hansen and Jared.
Mm-hmm.
Make it that what you will. So that's my contribution.
I mean, bro, it's simple as this. It's simple as this. That whole bullshit he did, I used to bite my nails and all of it. That is what we refer to in the conscious community as nigga-splaining. You understand what I'm saying? Like, nigga, please shut the fuck up. No, that's not what happened. You know what I'm saying? Like, that wasn't necessary for you to resolve the extinction level event that is you biting your nails. Nigga, shut up. Really? Is that what we're doing now? Look, this dude, at the end of the day, this is buck breaking 101. You understand? Sally Hansen, you can just add them to the number of white-owned corporations that are going out of their way to kill two birds with one stone by doing anything to bring in another dollar and simultaneously castrating a young black man. They love to do this type of shit. They love to buck break young dudes. It just is what it is. And again, talking about, some of these OGs that are not gaming some of these young guys up, somebody should have been in his ear. This is why I did mentoring for 10 years after I left high school. This is why I do this show. So many people come to me and tell me, damn, bro, I hadn't thought about people my age, people older than me. Like, bro, you gamed me up on this, man. I didn't know that, man. I never thought about this that way. It is incumbent upon those of us that are thinkers to get out here and get in front of issues and let those things be known to people who are a little more aloof. The average person, the average everyday person is not a quote unquote thinker. Let's just keep it a buck. Most people, as long as they got food on their table, enough money to put some gas in their car, and a couple chicken heads in their DMs on their phone, they cool.
Yeah.
Not thinking. You feel me? And, we end up in these traps because we're not able to critically think and see what outcome some of these things are going to produce before we place ourselves in these situations. You understand where I'm coming from? So, like, somebody should have been in this young brother's ear. If it wasn't somebody from the community or from his family, I would think those things would be first. Damn, once they saw him, get in the game and, you're a star athlete, you out here moving, you out here shaking, all of our antennas should go up because they're going to come with the bullshit. And it's like Dr. Umar said in his interview with Nick Cannon, when he was talking about the when Nick Cannon was talking to him about putting on a dress and
sexuality.
What happened?
Yeah, he was saying the distinction of sexuality versus the agenda.
Right. Sexuality versus the agenda was one part of it, but even more so than that, in this particular context, I'm talking about, everything having intention. You understand what I'm saying? A lot of us don't understand that. All content has intent, I believe was the quote that he spit that he got from our brother James Small. And that's heavy. These people have a very powerful media apparatus. And when they go putting out images of us, everything is intentional. You got to understand that a lot of these people still hate us. And, as masculine black men, we terrify them. They want to soften up the image of the black man because they don't want the black man to be a man at the end of the day. They want you to be a child or be a woman.
A man not.
You dig? So at the end of the day, this young brother buying into this type of propaganda and allowing himself to be used as effeminized propaganda against his people is a problem. That's what it is at the end of the day. I saw that. I was disgusted by that shit. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, damn, another one. As young black men out here, there are so many traps for us you know, because we talked about one earlier with the Drea Michelle thing. Now we're talking about this. This is something totally different.
Yeah.
But it's still a very negative position for you to be put in as a young black man just out here trying to make it. You're not understanding it. You're not understanding the why behind it, but it's the same difference. You feel me? So he is not doing his people any type of a service with that behavior. Unfortunately, it's very sad, and it's something that we have to really, really get in front of as a people. Y'all got to start mentoring these young brothers so they don't do things like this.
Definitely, and I brought that up to deliberately back to back because what you're basically going to do is you're basically getting two young players to end up being involuntary simps, right? And you don't want that. You don't want involuntary simps to, because it will affect them in the long run.
This
right?
picture.
So you guys got to understand how this plays out. It's not a great thing, you know, and when these young guys' mental capacity breaks because they sit back and think it's okay to allow stuff and not stand on business, not stand on grounds. And, you know, people are going to take advantage of them. They're going to use them and do all type of stuff, just like this guy is being used as a simp. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to be in you don't want to be in that position. You see what I'm saying?
Meme. Shit.
So, you know, this is why we have these young cats that grow up to be simps. And then when they do that, they end up having this mental breakdown because it's too much. At the end of the day, it's just too much. It's overwhelming. They don't know how to handle it. And as OGs, we have to explain to them the situation of how severe being a simp is. There's not a badge of honor of being a simp. No form, no fashion, you know. So I definitely want us to be better in that area for our younger generation, because we'll sit back and we'll just, you know, make things seem like it's okay. And in the long run, it's really not okay. I want to ask you guys this one question, right?
Yeah.
I see a lot of guys, they always talking to me, they're complaining about women when they take them out to eat, that women always seem to buy the most expensive thing in that form of fashion, right? And I'm asking people in general, so I'm asking you guys in general, does it matter? Is the gripe really about what she orders, or is the gripe really about the sexual exchange in the process of the order? And I want to show you a video to basically let you guys know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. What are you gonna have, sir?
Oh, I'm just get the grilled chicken with the mashed potatoes and the broccoli, and I'm gonna get a house salad on the side, and I'm gonna get sweet tea.
Okay. And for you, ma'am? I'm not gonna do too much, but I'm gonna get the shrimp steak, the macaroni, the stuffed crab, a slice of that cheesecake.
God damn.
What? I'm fucking.
Oh shit, do you?
And yeah, I'm gonna get some of that popcorn shrimp and a house salad, and I'm gonna just do strawberry lemonade. Okay.
Golly, I say.
So you think I'm gonna get all of that and not give you some of this water park?
I mean, they're real. They're real.
You're so silly.
That's a bet. Yeah.
So is that really the gripe? Is it really? Is that really how we feel right here?
Oh man.
Oh my sweet baby Jesus. Okay. So you're asking, is the gripe? What is it again? I want to make sure I get this right.
Is the gripe really about how much she's ordering, or is it the sexual favors that come with ordering everything like that?
I'll answer for them because I've talked to them.
Yeah.
But it never happened to me, because at the end of the day, I would never go on a date with a chick that's going to order gouge, you know what I'm saying, a nigga out of house and home from the menu. That's just, you know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, if you qualified to go on the date with me to begin with, your mindset wouldn't be there. You feel me? Where you trying to just come up and get as much as you can in one day. And or you would have the idea in your mind that because I'm paying for a date that you're supposed to give me sex. That's for simps and tricks. That's a trick whole dynamic. I've never been in a relationship where it was a trick whole dynamic because I don't do hoes and I'm not a trick. So I can't speak to that directly, but I have talked to dudes like this before, and I'll be quite honest. It's usually a mix of both.
Yeah,
because sometimes these women be ordering all this outrageous, outlandish shit, and the dude really ain't holding like that.
Yeah,
dig. So number one, the proper vetting has you in a bad place that you're on a date with that type of chick to begin with. Number two, the improper vetting, has you in a restaurant that you can't afford. So you're wrong on two levels. You know what I'm saying? So that there are guys that legit just don't have the bread to be able to support whatever it is that she's ordering. There are also guys that, have an issue with the fact that, okay, I don't know if I'm smashing, and I have a problem with that if I'm paying for dinner.
Correct.
All of this goes back to vetting, because at the end of the day, if you're a real dude, if you're a solid dude, if you're a 100-ass dude, you don't necessarily expect sex just because you paid for a meal.
Correct.
Paying for the meal has nothing, it should have nothing to do with whether or not you smashing. If you a 100-ass dude, you understand what I'm saying? Because you want, the idea is, and what you should be desirous of, is the woman wanting you because she wants you. Not because you took her somewhere fancy and you spent some money on a meal. Any fucking body can do that. If that's the case, this woman ain't really particularly special. She's just a damn jump off, really, because any dude who got a little bit of paper can take a woman to a nice meal. You dig? That's nothing to brag about. That's nothing to feel good about as far as you being a man. I smashed this bad chick. Yeah, but you basically pay. It was a work for hire. You know what I'm saying? It was really a work for hire. You took her somewhere that she couldn't afford by herself, or that she just finessed you out of, and she gave you the cheeks. Okay, that's, I guess, nice if you're a low quality dude.
Yeah.
But let's keep it a buck. Let's talk some real game. You got a lot of dudes out here dating that ain't used to no pussy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, they think that pussy is some pie in the sky ass creation that's just unattainable, because they've never really gotten with no bad chick before.
Correct.
I've never been that guy either. You understand? So I can't directly relate, but when these guys ask me for advice, these are the things they tell me. So it's a little bit of both. And I'm here to tell you, man, at the end of the day, if you're having those problems, you're a sucker. You're a simp. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're a simp and a trick. And, you can't be friends with us. You know what I'm saying? Like, real talk. We just don't tolerate dudes like that. You dig? Because you're supposed to have enough character to where a woman like you for who you are.
Yeah.
And sex is, like Bobby said in one of the videos that we was talking about, about how sex from women is considered, like a trophy. It's like a reward or something. When you're a real solid dude and you got character, sex is just what comes with the deal. That's going to come anyway. I have never asked a woman for sex, nor have I worried about whether or not she was going to give it to me. It will just happen naturally. It will happen organically. And if we keeping it a trillion, if you really that solid of a dude, she'll come on to you. I'm going to say that again for the people in the back. If you really that solid of a dude, when it comes down to sex, she'll come on to you.
Correct.
You dig? She'll let you know something because she tired of waiting. A lot of y'all ain't on that level. You're not ready for this. Don't try this at home if you ain't really in tune, but that's how it really works out a lot of the time.
Correct.
I'm just saying.
That's advanced game right there.
I'm just saying, stop simping, and you'll never get there as long as you simping and tricking. Brothers, y'all gotta value yourselves.
To be honest,
go ahead.
Before Drake take it over, to be honest with you,
yeah,
in my personal experiences, I've had women actually give it to me faster for not even wanting it.
Real talk.
I'm just giving you real game. When you act like sex is the last shit on your mind, they are dying to give you that shit.
Right. Because
so that's just free game to all you fellas out there. Go ahead, take it over, Bob.
Yeah.
Let me make some call. Hello? Hey, brother Denzel, how you doing, man? Yeah. Me and the fellas were over here in Manifestation. We were talking about these dudes that are out here just completely out of here, just doing whatever to get some sex and just acting like it's better than whatever. I just want to know, do you have a quote you can share with us about what do you think about these dudes? I mean, got anything you want to say?
Yeah, that brother's starving.
Yeah, I agree, Uncle Danny. Them brothers starving. All right, we'll talk to you later, man. Yeah. Like Uncle Danny said,
real talk.
Shout out to that role in Malcolm X.
Come on,
these
now.
brothers are starving.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, a lot of people get upset when you try to refer this into these animalistic psychological terms, but really it goes back to the whole concept of predator and prey. Women can smell desperation.
Right.
Yeah.
Even the most game goofy woman, she could look. Unfortunately, the sad reality of our existence is, unfortunately, a lot of women have had to contest with sexual attention from even childhood. All right. That's the reality of the beast. It's something that people don't like to talk about too much, but it is reality. As soon as a woman, as a girl, I should say, turns the corner of puberty, and sometimes even before then, unfortunately, she's getting sexual attention, not just from other young boys who are turning that corner into puberty and starting to recognize and realize girls and everything, but unfortunately from some older men as well, too. So one of the earliest things a girl is going to learn about sex and interacting with the opposite sex, one of the earliest things is going to be what sexual attention looks like, unfortunately. So that means way more often than not, when you are dealing with a woman, she is going to smell the desperation on your breath way before you say a thing to her about it. She can look in your eyes and tell that you can't stop looking at her. Everything in your brain is saying, position this, bend over there, doing this, whatever. She can feel it.
Right.
She can sense the aura off you. She knows that right now, she ain't talking to you. She's talking to your Johnson. She's talking to Mini-Me. She knows that. That's one of the reasons why a lot of you dudes get hooked by a nose and led around like a fish in Lake Tahoe.
Yeah.
Why you're so easy to manipulate. Why some of these, we're talking right now about these NBA cats, these NFL cats, these pro athletes or whatever that keeps getting taken advantage of. They know you ain't really had nothing like that. And so it's very easy for them to go and manipulate you. You're really at the good nature. You really have to hope and pray that it's a woman with ethics and morals and values you're dealing with who's going to see your desperation and not take you to the cleaners as a result of that.
There you go.
And when you find one, you better thank your lucky. If you don't go and make an honest woman out of her, then you better thank your lucky stars that God saw fit to let her walk across the path, because odds are the one that comes after is going to really take you through hell. That's how it be. And this is why it's very important, I say this again, the most dangerous and the most destructive men, both self-destructive and also destructive at large, posing a danger to the community, to others outside themselves, are the men who establish and evaluate their manhood based on violence and sex. These little boogers that think, I'm the hardest motherfucker out here. You ain't gonna come in my face, do whatever, man. What's up? What you want to do? What you want to do? Those goofy ass niggas,
Yeah,
the ones that get doing viral in these fight videos,
mm-hmm.
Those ones that leave bodies behind,
Agreed.
that ruin neighborhoods, that leave families in shambles. Especially don't miss it, let them get their ass whooped straight up. They go back and they go pull something out they want to go ahead and take to the next level. The men who live, I'm talking about, they have a whole, not even a condominium, they have a whole city block, a whole penthouse building, skyscraper of ego that they live in.
Correct.
And then there's the men who base their manhood on their sex, how many women they can bed. Oh man, I just fuck your bitches and Gucci flip flop. Them goofy niggas.
Yeah.
Men who live a very lower base, rudimentary, basic life.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the men who are grossly responsible for their own self-destruction and the destruction of the community at large. They are themselves a weapon, and they're good to nobody whatsoever. If you want to, and I keep saying this, as a man, you want to establish yourself the right way. It's about what you produce, your utility to yourself first and foremost, to your family, your loved ones, and then the community at large. I'm going to say something that's a little bit contradictory. That's a little controversial. And you know, I don't have any issue with doing that. I got the shoulders for it. The sentiment that's gone around considerably, it's been around for a while, but it's really picked up steam the last few years, is a result of the joke that Chris Rock shared where he said, only women and children and animals are loved unconditionally. A man's only loved for what he provides.
Correct.
I'm going to say that I don't see anything wrong with that whatsoever. I have no problem with that. In fact, that's the way it should be in a healthy society. Now, that's not to say that your humanity should be dismissed. We're not talking about that. The basic respect that every man, woman, and child is due, that's due to you no matter what. However, if you want the respect that comes with man, and that's because I have such a heavy respect for the word man and what it means. I have a heavy respect for the word woman and what it means. I don't think that these are terms that should be used lightly. These things mean something. As a man, you should not feel comfortable not producing, not providing, whether it's just for yourself or for those that are under your responsibility. It should bother you if you're not capable of protecting, even if it's just yourself. You can't even protect your own self. My God, man.
Real talk.
If you can't even defend yourself, that's a problem. If you can't even provide for yourself, that's a problem. If you have a significant other, if you have children that you are responsible for and you can't protect them, you can't provide for them, that's a problem. I'm not going to say that your man card should be taken from you, but you should seriously start treating your life like it's under review. And if the audit man pulls up, he might revoke your card any minute and get to work. I'm just saying, you
That's
should
real.
not want to just come into this world and exist. Everybody else out here getting it one way or the other, and you just right here just lollygagging, just like some wisp in the air, some vapor. Men don't do that.
Nah.
Correct.
Nah.
So, you know what? Yeah, you need to get up out of here and get it. You being able to knock down all the women in the neighborhood, good for you. You want a cookie, they got some in the bakery. Go get one. Now, when you want to be considered a man, start producing, start knocking up some successes. How about that? Start knocking up some productivity. Don't show me the picture of the last chick that you just knocked down. Show me the last win that you recorded. And then let me see your plan for the next one that you're about to go ahead and take down. That's what men do.
Yeah.
The men that I respect and look up to, that's what they do. That's the way I try to live.
Definitely.
So we need to reformat our brains And when we're out of alignment, unfortunately, you see how easy it is to get taken advantage of. Because again, when you're coming from that weak place, the women who know game, they got you. They've been dealing with dudes your age when they were little girls. They know how to sidestep that or to play that to their advantage. They know how to give into that or to resist that. They have that. So most of you dudes coming at them like that, you're not going to have any advantage over a woman. That's why it's so easy for them to get foodie calls out of you. That's how you're so goofy that you go ahead and try to make deals talk about, well, if I paid it for dinner, she got to give the ass. Knowing good and full well, no intelligent person does a business deal where one person gets the payoff before you get the goods. You pass the money and the drugs at the same time. It ain't no, well, you give me the money and then, in 30 minutes, I'll go ahead and give you it. That's bad business.
It's a mess out here, bro. We gotta get them, man. We gotta get them and get them right. Real talk.
And it starts early because unfortunately, once dudes have reached a certain point and they've been at this for a while now, and ego's involved now.
Yeah,
they've been doing this. They've been wrong for so long. It's hard to pull people back off that cliff because they've overly committed. They're all in at this point. It's very difficult to get them back off the limb. So that's why I'll personally I advocate. We talk to the older heads as much as we can. If they pick up the gems, they're receptive to it. That's a blessing.
Right.
But most of them, because again, they have their whole ego, they have the whole identity tied up into this. When you talk about this, you're not just talking about changing how you're doing things. You're basically telling them that how you have been living as a man up to this point is wrong. Most aren't going to be too receptive to that. That's why I'm about getting to these kids, getting to these youngins before all that bullshit has time to gunk up their brains. And now you got to do this deep, intensive cleaning to get all the garbage out.
Right.
Get them early. Catch them early. Game them properly so they can go out in the world. And now, as much as can be, they Teflon. Everything bounces off them. All the other usual Goo Goo Gaga mess, they can't be afflicted by it.
Definitely. I wholly agree with you on that. I did want to talk about how when we talk about, we need to get at the youth and the young men. What about the women that look up to other women? Like women that have they exude such excellence. When we talk about women like Felicia Rashad, those type of women that exude that type of essence of what a real woman should be like and how she should carry herself and the type of energy and divine femininity that she exudes. I think one of the most powerful women that is very quiet, but is also in that same bracket is this woman right here. And I think this can be very problematic. So we have Savannah James launches her new podcast that has LeBron fans fearing she'll destroy the illusion of being a perfect wife. And I've seen a lot of women and guys too that were saying this. So this is from the comment section. We need more Savannahs, less Sukihanas. You've done so well as the polished, business savvy NBA wife. Why lower yourself to this? I have anxiety about this. Savannah, protect your peace. Love seeing her pose and on the go. Don't want podcasts from her. Sorry. She doesn't have to do this. No, Savannah, please remain mysterious. Y'all do fight me, but I don't want to hear her talk. Just be cool. And those are some of it was a long list of comments, but I just want to get you guys' reaction to how you, and I do want to say on the promo, she was stroking the microphone, like really doing some raunchy sexual thing. So
that shit bothered me so much, dude. Like, because
exactly what I was afraid.
With Aisha Curry, right? Real talk. No, exactly. We saw this with Aisha Curry. Aisha Curry used to be labeled the anti-thought, okay? Because Aisha Curry used to come out here. She used to check these chicken heads, man. She used to check these birds. You know what I'm saying? And give them some real talk, as far as how God wants you to be and how, you know, you should be carrying yourself this way and that way, and whatever the case may be. She used to keep it real all the way trillion with these women. And then they started dragging her and talking bad about her and condemning her. And she eventually gave in to peer pressure and started twerking like the rest of the birds. You understand what I'm saying? So, no, we don't want to see that for Savannah James. Y'all, well, I don't know about y'all specifically, but I know guys in particular tend to praise Savannah James quite a bit. I don't. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think she seems pretty cool, you know, but just little things, you know, that, you know, okay, she's not dressing like Sierra, but them titties be out, you know, with Savannah James quite a bit. You know what I'm saying? She tends to wear, you know, stuff that shows a lot of boobage. You dig? And it's like, you know, it's not as bad as what we've seen, but that lets me know it's still there. You know, or it seems like it may still be there. I don't know that lady. I don't want to put that on her, but it seems like it may still be there. It's just kind of dormant and very low key. And I hope that's not the case. I hope that sister is every bit as wonderful as we think she is. I really do. But a couple of women have, you know, hell, Jada Pinkett did that to everybody. Everybody thought, even though we seen her be passed around the game or whatever the case may be, we thought she was a pretty sweet lady. And, you know, okay, she's married now. She's married to Will Smith. We're thinking this is going to be a happily ever after type thing. We turn around and find out, man, this motherfucker is like Satan incarnate. You understand? Nobody saw that coming. You know, Aisha Curry, same thing. Nobody saw that coming. So, yes, I can agree with the sentiment. I don't like the wording of the article. You know, Savannah James is very sarcastic.
It's yellow journalism.
Yes, it's yellow journalism. That's so bullshit. That's so.
But it's a gossip rag. So what do you expect?
You dig? I'm just saying, she's not the perfect wife. Nobody is the perfect wife. But a lot is to be said, especially in this day and age, about a black woman. I'm gonna say it about a black woman who carries herself with respect, decency, and class, and puts her man and her family first. A lot is to be said about that because you don't fucking see it.
Yeah.
Not that it's not out there, but the white media, the very powerful white media that we've been talking about this whole show, they don't show that. They don't go out of their way to show that. You know, they'll show, you know, Sierra running around half naked, you know, every time she wants to pull a publicity stunt, you know, with her righteous husband. They'll show that. They'll put that, they'll pedestalize that. And if you say anything about her, oh, you're toxic and you's a hater and you's a this and you's a that, they'll promote the hell out of that because it doesn't make her look good. It doesn't make them look good. It doesn't make us look good as a people. Savannah James, thus far, has made us look good as a people. And so I understand why some people are, you know, kind of leery about that. They don't want to see her image get tarnished because thus far that sister has held it down, you know. But like y'all said, even on the previews, what's this shit she's doing with the mic, you know, caressing it with her nails like she's doing something to an erect penis. What the fuck is that about?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, automatically, I cringed and I'm like, oh God, not another one that's going to give in the fucking peer pressure. You know, like we said, all content has intent. What you want to bet somebody told her to do that shit?
Correct.
You understand what I'm saying? And she bought into it, not understanding the implications. You are at a very high, you're an extraordinarily high level. The world is watching everything that you're doing, and you come out with a podcast, and this is the first thing you do. Fuck out of here, man. Like, I didn't like it. I didn't. I'm tired of seeing black women be depicted as trash, as loose, as promiscuous, as less than. It's despicable. And even more so than that, I'm tired of seeing black people, black men and women, buy into it and reinforce the narrative and act like it's something wrong with you when you tell them that, hey, you wasn't raised like that.
Correct. Your
mama didn't raise you like that. Your daddy didn't raise you like that. The uncles in the neighborhood wasn't with that shit. Why is it okay now? I say that to a lot of these older hood rats and these low energy women that come out here caping for the poor behavior when they see it. You wasn't raised like that. I know you wasn't raised like that because a lot of time I know your mama. And if you came outside wearing some shit like that, they would have whooped your ass. Told you get your ass back in the house and put some clothes on. Correct. Or whatever else. If you out here twerking while you're pregnant, you know, or whatever the case may be, displaying whatever degenerate behavior. We did not grow up like that. So why is it okay now that white feminists have said you can go out there, black women, and make a damn fool of yourself? We'll make a star of you. Get the fuck out of here, man. We have to be smarter than that. Oh, it hurt the shit out of me, dude. I don't want to. Dude, that shit bothered me. Savannah James is one of the few sisters out here that still, you know, conducts herself with respect and class. That's just in the public eye. There are plenty of them in day-to-day life, but in the public eye, I can only think of her and what's the other girl? And her and Kyla Pratt. That's about it. I'm just saying, and it's a good thing to see. And I hate to see that it looks like they're making a concerted effort to try to smear her and tarnish her and make her like the rest of these women out here, which ultimately ends up being a reflection of us as a society, as a people. That's a problem.
Correct. Drake?
First off, I was very pleased to see in those screenshots that you shared that there were actually a considerable number of women who shared that sentiment. That gave me a sense of hope.
Real talk.
I think they were trying to get it, and not just that, but if you notice, they had a lot of likes, a lot of positive responses to those comments as well too. That made me feel very good.
Mm-hmm.
But again, just to check and to rebuke the that cheap BS headline for that article.
Garbage.
This has nothing to do with trying to silence women. This has nothing whatsoever to do with trying to say women should be seen and not heard. It's got nothing to do with that. It's recognizing the fact that this internet space and this current societal climate is very hostile to positive womanhood and femininity. It is toxic. It is cancerous. It's viral towards it. Unfortunately, the reality is when it comes to men and women in the podcasting space specifically, there's a difference between the content that people will tune into men to see and hear and the content that people tune into women to see and hear. And it shouldn't be this way, but yet it is. In most cases, a lot of regular everyday conversational pieces, they will tune in to see men talking about before they tune to see women talking about it. Now, that's not to say that women don't have great insights. That's not to say that women don't have a great perspective and take on things. Usually that's best displayed when there's like a blend, when it's like a mixed cast. You have a male host, a female host, or you have a few men and women, or you have a few women and some men there mixed up. But when it's women only, the podcast, and I've seen the ones that are jumping that have huge support, the ones that have lots of feedback, interaction on the pages, unfortunately, it tends to be the podcast from women that have garbage content. The ones that are basically selling sex on audio, they're talking about all kind of raunchy, degenerate stuff, or there's a sex base to it. I don't see a huge following for the podcast for women that are talking about health and wellness. They're talking about economics of business. There's not a lot of those anyways to begin with. They have some that are geared more towards gardening or fitness. I see there's some support for that. But even then, for the most part, the ones that are doing well are the ones where the women are, where they're trying to be seductive or not. There's a little eye candy popping. And this is from both the men and the women. It's not like the men are checked out or whatever, but a lot of the women, they don't come for that either.
Yeah.
There's got a lot of women that basically play gay, or they try to low key be on some, dyking vibes, and they come looking for the same thing some of the guys are coming looking for.
Yeah.
That doesn't get talked about much at all. But the issue is when you have a person who may not necessarily be like that, or even if she has a little bit of that in her. Because the reality is there's no such thing as a good girl. That's the reality. Every woman has a bad girl in her.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what it's going to take to get her to come out or to get comfortable out of that show varies. Some people, it takes no effort whatsoever. They're always in that mode. Some need more security. And truth be told, if your husband should be able to get that out of you, that should be a thing that you have for your man on tap, where he's able to get that from you on demand. It should be that way. But there is no such thing as a good girl. And unfortunately, the internet is very good at drawing that bad girl out of women in those circles.
Mm-hmm.
And I know for a fact, because this isn't two people that got some mics and headphones and said, "Hey, let's do a podcast." Savannah got money. If they're gonna do this, there's gonna be a production team in place. They're gonna have quality equipment, everything. This is gonna be a legitimate production that's being put on. And when your producer comes and says, "Hey, Savannah, we need to do something, to really get a buzz. We really want people to get them talking because, there's gonna be a lot of tension because, you're LeBron's wife. But what about you, Savannah? Who are you? We need you to do something that's going to get the attention off of LeBron and get it on you. How about you play with this microphone like it's a penis?" Pause. Or no diddy.
Real talk. I can almost guarantee that's not happening.
Yeah. The first person, wow, Savannah, that was really great. We knocked them dead. But, if you look at the comments, a lot of them said they really liked what you were doing with the microphone. Maybe we should do a little bit more next time. And that's how they build, because, again, it's easy to do this in an isolated environment, right? Because when we talk about things like recording, doing things for an audience versus doing it from like a laptop or a computer, whatever, it's very easy to get almost like an isolated effect, right? So you may be comfortable, for example, doing something like that on a microphone if it's just you, a couple close friends, and a camera. But you're more than likely not going to go into an auditorium full of people, eyes directly on you, and feel comfortable doing the same thing. Because it's an immediate response. You can see the audience can see you. And it's that whole, if you're a performer, if you're an actor, or if you're a musician, whatever, then you understand or performer, you understand that difference between the live audience effect versus the closed studio effect. A lot of actors will tell you that they like doing Broadway because they like that direct interaction with the audience, whatever. So there's a difference between how you feel doing certain things at a microphone and a camera with a limited cast versus open exposure. But it's still the same impact. You do it for a camera where it's just you and 500 people are watching you versus you being in a room with 500 people. 500 people are still watching you. But there's some things you're more comfortable doing because it's just you and the camera than you and the live audience. And that's the problem. It's easy to trip over that line. So you got to be very careful with that. And so it's going to be very easy for someone like Savannah to be manipulated to go for that kind of thing where, they're pushing you to do more, to say certain things, or to be more relaxed than you should because you're doing it for company.
Definitely. You said a mouthful on that one. Trust me. I don't want her image to be tarnished. We don't have a lot of them in the public light like that. And hers is pretty big up there. Not too far away from what's her name? I just said her name. Felicia Rashad. You got the limelight of her being up there, even though she doesn't do any roles like Felicia Rashad. She hasn't had any iconic thing, but that's the way she presents herself to stay out of the norm of the BS publicity and stuff like that. The way she carries herself, she's been dressing for the most part, just not raunchy and just carrying herself like a mother and a wife and a role model for a lot of women. And it's very impactful because just like you said with the screenshots earlier, you're seeing a lot of support from the women, and the women are seeing her in that light as well, which makes it even more powerful. So I definitely hope that this podcast does not go that way. If they, I'm praying that it's something that they sensationalize to bring in the people, and then they just flip it on them and do something totally different. That's what I'm hoping for. But you already know how when people control big platforms like that, there's always an agenda. There's always people in the room, like Bobby said, showing and shoving you in one direction, and half the time that's not the direction you want to go in. All right, well, tonight's been a great show. We're not going to do Queen Check for tonight. I'm going to definitely save that for next week. But I do want to go through a list of stuff that, a lot of women might not understand what's going on with men. But, we do want men and women to align together, not have these big, enormous standards, outrageous standards, overvaluing yourself. Align with people that you just perfectly align with. It's no perfect relationship, but when you find people that you have more pros than negatives with, man, ride with that. You can improve and change so that the negatives turns into something more healthy, and then your relationship ends up flourishing to be more healthy than normal. So I want to show you something. Like a lot of times, I don't know if you gentlemen do this, but I know I do it a lot. But this is a sense of protection that a lot of women don't even realize. When men go into a restaurant, you have men, and if he's a man's man, he's a protected man. Let me show you how he's protecting you, right? So a husband goes into a restaurant with his wife, and the husband is eating. But while he's eating, he's making sure that he's on alert and he's able to protect his wife at any given moment. A lot of women don't understand that because we don't verbally tell you that. But this is a form of protection that a lot of men do that a lot of y'all women don't realize.
I do it.
On the other side of it, the wife is over here jamming, listening to all type of stuff. It says wife who wouldn't know if a robbery was taking place because they be in their own world. It's our job to protect them on that end. You say you do that, Major?
Absolutely.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Why a lot of men can't find good women? Looks don't move me, but 95% of y'all fine and dumb as hell and ran through. This is a lot of things that a lot of men are saying, and it has translated into stuff like that. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
We want you guys to know our circle should include people who tell us when we are out of line instead of co-signing our foolishness.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so that's just food for thought. All right. Some more memes for the fellas. Sorry. Being faithful isn't just about violating the act of cheating. It's about consciously removing yourself from any situation that could potentially blur the lines.
Real talk.
Being truly faithful is not just about physical monogamy. It's about emotional integrity. All right. It's not about not seeking validation or attention from anyone outside the relationship. It's about not having anything on your phone that you wouldn't want your partner to see. If it's the text that you do not send, the filthy conversations you do not entertain, and the decisions you make when no one's watching.
That's integrity.
Being faithful in a relationship isn't just about staying out of someone else's bed. It's way deeper than that. And I do want to also share this with you guys real quick, this video real quick.
A man is disrespected, it takes him to God.
that back. Okay.
When a man is disrespected, it takes him to, gosh, it takes him to a different realm. When a husband is not respected by his wife or a father by his children, it depletes him. It takes him to a whole different realm. That's why we have to be very, very careful as wives and as daughters to our dads, that we encourage and we uplift our husbands and our dads, because.
All right. And I was playing all of this and I said all these memes because I want people to understand that sometimes the program outside of everything is, it's out there, the illusion, everything on social media will sit back and make you think that the grass is greener and the grass is pretty good at your own house. You're just following the false illusion that the grass is greener, and you will give up a good man to search and follow other women that will lead you outside into a whole landfill of trash. And remember, 80% of the divorces are caused by women. And that does not mean that the men are cheating or being very violent to them. You have a lot of reasons, knucklehead reasons, that women will give away all of that to go somewhere else. And I'm saying all of this to show you this, and then I'll let you guys speak on it, and then you guys can basically take us out with it as well. All right. And this is what I'm talking about. So Tia Mowry and ex-husband Corey Hardwick working things out 1 year after divorce as she tries to earn his trust back. But she had to throw that in there. But in reality is she went out there and the fucking shit was garbage. It wasn't what she thought it was. It wasn't the glitz and glamour that all these women portray on social media. She went out there and saw the dating pool was shit. And she's now regretting it, but she has to come back and say, oh, if I can trust him again. No, because if you didn't trust him, then you wouldn't have came back if outside was so good. You knew that you had a good man because what you saw outside had no validity or weight to what you had for the last 14 years or so that you were with this man, and the children and the whole nucleus family that you pretty much parted away from to go out there and find out that it ain't nothing out there even worth even looking at, much less to connect with and start a new life with. So I just want that women out there that's looking, that say, hey, you can mess up, but sometimes you'll mess up and might not get the chance to come back. She's just lucky that he's allowing her to circle that block back and get back together. And I land my plane on that.
Yeah. I mean, who didn't see that coming? Where was Tia Mowry going? Who the hell is checking for Tia Mowry? Show me. Dude, stop. You know what I'm saying? And that it's an excellent lesson for a lot of these women, because they are chasing that grass is greener on the other side myth, right? We all saw it. She was a running joke for half of that 12 months that she's been away from this guy, for 6 months, and we just stopped making fun of her because it got boring. You know what I'm saying? Nobody thought that she was going to go out there and catch better. How? You understand? So it's sad though, you know, because that takes a toll on the children first and foremost. You know, it's going to take a toll on her. It's going to take a toll on him. It was just unnecessary and stupid, you know, and it ties in great with tonight's topic, because that overvaluation, you know, of yourself, she thinks she's just the greatest thing since sliced bread. And I'm not saying she's a bad person, whatever the case may be, but, you know, You good, ma? Like, what's the problem? She said clearly the man never did anything. He never cheated. He never disrespected her. I mean, I've had debates with people online where they just made up shit. Well, he probably did this and but she said he didn't. Anything to make the man look bad. Anything.
Yeah.
And so, it's unfortunate, but that's kind of where you are, ladies, and unfortunately, women's property value does not go up with age. You can believe all this Tyler Perry bullshit if you want to. It does not. You understand? And you can try to shame men into dating your old ass all you'd like. And look, there's some sisters out there, they may be very good women and they're just older. I'm not knocking you. You understand? But don't knock the man who's your age that don't want to date you because you're too old for it. That's just not how this works. At the end of the day, if you're in a good situation, make the best of it. Because coming across good, decent, quality people is not a walk in the park. It's not a walk in the park, especially not in this day and age. Coming across good, decent, quality people in either gender is rare, but it is particularly rare for women to find solid, quality, decent men like that. Not because they're not out there, because there's so many more women than there are men. And so you're at a disadvantage coming in. And yeah, it said on there very clearly, it said that she's trying to earn his trust, right? And it said that very clearly because, how do you feel you can trust somebody like that after they pull a stunt like that? You've been with them for all these years and they just up and leave you for no apparent reason? What's that about? So luckily she's getting a second chance. She should feel lucky to be getting a second chance with him.
Yeah.
But, all of this, all these ridiculous standards, which is the other side of it. There's the overvaluation and then there's the exorbitant standard. A lot of people, the speculation was, Corey Hardrick, he's worth some mills, but he ain't balling like LeBron. He ain't balling like Tom Brady. He ain't balling like some of these other guys out there who are high value men. And, just monetarily high value. That was some of the speculation. And I believe that, because what other reason? You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't understand the move from the beginning. But when you start talking about, women love to talk about men's insecurities, but when you start talking about insecure women, and light skin privilege, I'm gonna go ahead and say it, where you think that you're supposed to have a $500 million man. You understand? And you're supposed to have the attention of the world. You're supposed to be a quote unquote Beyonce.
Yep.
You feel that way. Nah, bruh. And the world has a very cold way of showing you exactly what it is and what your value is, what your sexual marketplace value is. And it wasn't very high. It just is what it is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It shouldn't have taken that for her to have to want to come back and try again. But it is what it is, But long story short, that's that situation. But for regular everyday people, man, if you come across somebody that's good and solid and is willing to love you and is putting their best foot forward and they treat you well and everything is working, man, go with that. Pull the trigger. Do your proper vetting. And if it's there, pull the trigger. It pays dividends, man. I can tell you myself, I'm there. You dig? And for the longest time, I was getting the bullshit women, or I was entertaining them, rather. You understand what I'm saying? Because, why not? Once you start realizing, damn, this is blocking my blessings. This time I'm spending with this person is time that I could have spent with someone who was of better quality. That's not the same thing. Now you're removing some of the lesser people from your life and you're only allowing people in that are quality people that can make it make sense. and you start dating with purpose. That's what this is about at the end of the day. You date with purpose, and you lead with that, and you're deliberate about that, and you set the example, and you go out there, and you know, in good faith, you will attract what you are. Now you're cooking with hot grease. You dig? And you're not worried about the next person. There's always going to be a more beautiful woman. There's always going to be a more wealthy man. That ain't what this is about. And once you start realizing that and you retrain your thought process, you'll be all right. I'll land my plane.
Well said. Well said. Drake.
Absolutely. Well, I hope that this is legit. You know, you can never tell with these gossip rags, these gossip blogs, whatever. But if so, I will at least give Tia credit for at least having the good sense to go ahead and try to get back and try to earn her family back. Because unfortunately, in most cases, you'll have women who make moves like this, and because of their ego, they'll say, you know what, I messed up. That made a big mistake. But because they have to save face, because they got to go ahead and flex and keep up appearances and look like this boss chick, or, just, I'm doing the damn thing, or, I don't need a man, all this other nonsense. They will go right there and they will choose the so-called love and respect and admiration of nobodies, strangers, people who really, to be honest, couldn't give a damn if they stopped breathing in the next 5 minutes or not, over the love and the warmth and the safety and security of their husband and of their children, and the security that the children feel with having their parents together under the same roof. They'll rather sacrifice that because ego says, "No, we're not going to let them get one."
Yeah.
So if this is the case, big ups for her. And I have heard some stories of people who have divorced, reconciled, and got back together, and they're enjoying a different marriage now. It's possible. People really don't respect, and the funny thing is, you got people who tell you all day long, marriage is just a piece of paper. That's just the government. That's the government involvement. We don't need the government in our relationship. We don't need none of that. Nah, what for what? They'll come and talk all that nonsense to you. But there is something special and significant about taking this person and going before a courthouse, for a judge or some other figure of authority, or so you do a medium to larger size wedding in front of your friends, family, people that matter to you all, in a public place, and declaring, I love this person, I care about this person, I want forever with this person. There's something significant about that, right? And again, don't tell me that a marriage doesn't mean anything, that a wedding doesn't mean anything. If you out here and you went to your high school graduation, your college graduation, if you joined a fraternity, sorority, you went and you had your big cross and that whole celebration, there are all kind of celebrations and milestone memorials that we have in life as people. All kinds. You get a promotion in your job, or you have birthday parties, for the love of God. I mean, Jesus. Every year, faithfully, you turn another year older. But you want people to show you the same love every single year, or celebrate your birthday every single year. You don't say, just the day I came out, no big deal. That's fear talking. That's a coping mechanism where you have to try and downplay this and diminish this so you feel better about not engaging, or so you don't make it out to be a big deal. No, but this is huge. This is you acknowledging that this is my person, and for better or for worse, we gonna do life together. That's a big thing. It needs to be taken seriously, not just with the getting into it and the duration of it, but afterwards as well. Now, if you've reached a point where you guys have irreconcilable differences and you've done everything possible, you've gone to counseling, preferably beforehand. You didn't wait till things got bad to see a therapist, but you did the premarital counseling. You occasionally went to counseling in between the marriage just to make sure things were on the right track. The same way you do with your doctor's appointments or getting your car a regular tune-up or whatever. You've done due diligence. And you reach the point where you know what? This can't be fixed. This is horribly, irreparably broken. Is what it is. You've done your part. You can't win them all. But if you have unfinished business, if there's still some meat on that bone, if you ain't finished the plate just yet, take your ass back to your spouse. Go ahead and get your spouse back. Do that. You made a commitment. Yes, you can get divorced. Yes, you can get annulled. But at the same time, a commitment is a commitment. And if this whole see watch how it comes back. If this marriage is just a piece of paper, right? Then that means that what's really significant, what's really binding, what really matters is your word, which doesn't call for a certificate, doesn't call for the state. So if your word that you gave in sickness and in health, wish you born to death do you part, if that matters, then don't worry about that piece of paper that's insignificant. Go back and get your spouse. That's still your significant other. Make that work. Kill your ego. All your ego is going to do, male or female, is leave you very lonely, leave you cold, leave you miserable at night. That's all it's going to do. And even if you got somebody in your bed next to you, that's a cheap substitute. All right? Especially if you have children, you have a family. Get yourselves back together. And again, there ain't nothing out there. All the married friends and folks that I know, all of them have seen what the current state of this dating pool is, and they all said they'll be damned if they get divorced. They'd be stupid to do it. Exactly. I know a couple others that have said, I'm glad I met my wife when I did, and they said, if I had to do it again, I simply would. Ain't nobody trying to go back out here. The people that's out here now that got some sense, it's like The Walking Dead. They try to find rescue. Nobody want to. Maybe in the 90s, the 80s, or whatever, it was cool to be single out there on the prowl. Maybe that was the wave. Right now, this is hell out here.
Real talk.
Like DMX, it's dark and hell is hot. So
it is.
If you find somebody that's solid, that you got no issue with, you are an idiot. Ain't nothing better out here. There's nothing. There's nothing. There's no victory. No one's holding out on you. Nah. Do the right thing. Make it work. Fight for your love. Fight for your family.
Amen. And I do want to say there, like I said, there's so much facade that's going on with social media. The grass looks greener, even in the dating pool. I knew this girl that, looks pretty good. She portrays like she has a great job and everything like that. And come to find out through an angry family member that this girl is actually living out of a car. And I would never known that this girl was living out of a car, and the shit that she was going through because a family member just went straight off on everything, and everything starts to add up. And I'm like, damn, that's crazy. So even people that you're looking at, and I made a post about that. I said, damn, it's kind of crazy because people that you thought was out of your league, are out here struggling, living worse than your enemy. You would just never know, you know what I'm saying? Because the facade that they portray out there. So I just want people to get together and align with each other, and don't worry about what outsiders look like or whatever the case may be. Align with who you align with and build from there. Because the people you're thinking that is on that level ain't even on that level, and you'll be shocked. So I definitely want to leave you with that. Thank y'all for tuning in this week. We're definitely going to have a dope show again next week. Remember, tell a friend to tell a friend. And we up out of here.
Yeah.
Peace out, family.
All right.
Get the next time.
For sure.
Manifestation. Man up. Manifestation. Man up. Manifestation. Man up. Manifestation.
A place where we inform, build, and inspire.
Manifestation. Man up. Manifestation. Man up. Manifestations. Man up.
A place where we inform.
Manifestation.
A place where we inform, build, and
Man up.
inspire.
You gotta eat what you kill. You gotta go out there. You gotta hunt for your meals.
We all have that ability to connect with people, to be that motivational person in somebody's life.
You gotta let people know there's certain lines you don't cross, and that there's gonna be consequences if you do.
Man up.
If you are an adult and you are in a relationship, that person's emotions are not your responsibility.
Man up. Manifestations. Man up. Manifestations. Man up. Manifestations.
A place where we inform, build, and inspire.
The devil, during slavery, destroyed the masculinity or manhood of the so-called Negro. No man. Right now you got to be trained all over again to be a man.
When someone is obligated to do something, it is binding upon them to do it. And failure to do it causes reaction.
Man up.
Position make you rich? I don't have that type of richness. My richness is life forever.
If that people knew their glorious past, if that people knew their glorious past, if that people knew their glorious past, then they would be more inclined to respect themselves.
I'm not saying I'm going to rule the world or I'm going to change the world, but I guarantee that I will spark the brain that will change the world. And that's our job, is to spark somebody else watching us.
A place where we inform, build, and inspire.
Manifestations. Man up. Manifestations. Man up. Manifestations. Man up.
A place where we inform.
Manifestations.
A place where we inform, build, and inspire.
You want to tell me about yourself? Go get your friends. I'll tell you who you are based on who your friends are.
Don't just live and die. That's an ugly existence. Make your life matter. Make your life count. Live a life where people can actually mourn you for the things you left behind, not just because you were around and existed.
We need strong black nuclear family.
Yes.
That's what it is. Mother, father, son, daughter, all in the same house with a focus on the family unit as a whole.
We had Tulsa, Atlanta, New Jersey, Detroit. We had Rosewood. We had Black Wall Streets all over.
The Republicans aren't for us, but the Democrats aren't for us either. And we should have no alliance to any political party. We only have alliance to what is in our own best
A
interest.
place where we inform, build, and inspire.
Manifestations. Man up. Manifestations. Man up. Manifestations. Man up.
A place where we inform.
Manifestations.
A place where we inform, build, and inspire.
At the end of the day, as men in the community, we must stand together and be counted, because people look to us for guidance, leadership, and protection. And if we are not about that business, we are not on our job. Here we have grown-ass man conversations in the spirit of that purpose. Anthony Malcolm, Bobby Drake, Major Gage, we are. This is Manifestations 2020.
Manifestations. Man up. Manifestations.
A place where we inform, build, and inspire.